now invite Vice President Professor Sanjay Chaturvedi for the welcome remarks. Professor Sanjay Chaturvedi.
Thank you, Dr. Shweta. Honorable President, South Asian University, Professor K.K. Agarwal. Honorable Chancellor, Maldives National University, Dr. Mahmood Shawki. Ladies and gentlemen, if I were to use one word to describe the value of today's event, I will use the word confluence. It is confluence of the vision. It is the confluence of wonderful ideas and hopes and expectations that became the foundation stones of our university, South Asian University. It is also the confluence of two visionary leaders of their respective institutions, Professor K.K. Agarwal and Dr. Shawki. Let me invoke your mental map and take you to this beautiful, beautiful island of Maldives. If you start looking at Maldives from Antarctica, you will appreciate that Maldives is the gateway to Indian Ocean. And if you look at the location of India, you would appreciate how centrally located India is. When we talk about South Asia, sometimes we don't appreciate enough that South Asia is not only continental, South Asia is also maritime. And that is where Maldives assumes such a special significance by virtue of its location. Both India and Maldives have been a part of this wonderful Indian Ocean world, where the experts of this region tell us that the concept of order was derived out of diversity and not homogeneity. We are very, very honored and privileged today to have the opportunity of listening to the distinguished lecture to be delivered by Dr. Mahmood Shawki. In chair, we have our president, who has been the chancellor of two Indian universities. He is the founding vice chancellor of Indraprastha University, where he served for 10 years, and someone who breathes excellence, who practices excellence. No wonder, no surprise that he was the chair of INAT in India. And his contribution to the domain of higher education goes much beyond the boundaries of our nation, of our country. He became professor at the age of 27 years, which itself was remarkable and a source of great inspiration, author of more than 400 papers in reputed journals. I can go on and on, his contribution to industries, polar satellite. They're all very well known and be regarded. So thank you very much, President Sir, for chairing today's distinguished lecture. May I now say a few words about someone who has had such a distinguished career, both as an educationist and as an administrator. Dr. Mahmood Shawki assumed the position of the Chancellor of the Maldives National University in November 2023. His leadership in the education sector includes serving as the Minister of Education from 2003 to 2005 and as the Deputy Minister of Education 2002 to 2003. He played a crucial role in the expansion of secondary and higher education opportunities in the Maldives from 1999 to 2005, including the establishment of Maldives Accreditation Board, currently called MQA, for quality assurance of higher education. And here you can appreciate the confluence that also takes place between the interests of our Honorable President and the Honorable Distinguished Speaker today. Dr. Shawki's academic background comprises a Bachelor of Education in Biology, a Bachelor of Arts in Economics, and a Master of Education degree from the University of Manitoba in Canada. He further obtained a PhD in Education from the University of Toronto. He personifies interdisciplinarity. During this time at the University of Toronto, he served as a member of the Academic Committee of University Senate.
Beyond his contributions to education, he served as the Minister of Tourism and Civil Aviation from 2005 to 2008. He has been very active in the domain of education, higher education, occasionally serving as a visiting lecturer at Villa College and supervising graduate students from the Open University of Malaysia, Maldives National University, and Islamic University of the Maldives. His private sector experience includes working as a director for the Villa Group and providing consultancy services for organizations such as UNESCO, the Asian Development Bank, and the Maldives Qualification Authority. Having introduced the Honorable Chair and the Honorable Distinguished Speaker, may I now request our Honorable President to kindly deliver his welcome remarks. Sir.
Our guest this morning, Dr. Mahmood Shoti, my colleagues from the university, and dear students. It's a great occasion for us that an educationist of his own rights, a person who has almost built up higher education system in Maldives to good extent, has been the Minister of Higher Education, is with us today. And at present, he is Chancellor of, if I may say, practically the only university in Maldives, although now they have one more. But that university has done great in its own rights, given the kind of size and scale of Maldives, and we know that. And if I leak out a secret between two of us, he is here for SAU today. He told me when the visit was being planned to India, his primary interest was SAU, and understandably so, because this university belongs to Maldives as much as it belongs to India. And I have been saying that from the day I have joined, that this university will grow only and only if we make sure that it is a joint enterprise of SAU countries. And friends, when countries come together, it's not for nothing. The forefathers at that time must have seen the common necessities between SAU countries to come together. Otherwise, it doesn't happen by click of a coin that 8 countries will come together and create a university. There must have been a strong feeling of what has to be done by way of this university. And I'm sure we are on that path, and I'm so happy to say Dr. Shoti is also on that path as much as we are. And therefore, I'm sure that this visit of his, he has been to India many times, but this visit of his will usher in a new chapter between SAU and Maldives. And I have been saying, as I have been saying in many occasions, it is not necessary for us to have SAU and all the other 7 countries together for everything. We must explore SAU and Maldives, SAU and Bangladesh, SAU and Nepal, SAU and Pakistan. And wherever we can strike a mutually beneficial arrangement or a mutually beneficial program, we should go ahead and do that. If 3 join, better, 4 join, still better, but we shouldn't wait for everybody to have exactly the same vision to go ahead. And I'm so happy that Dr. Shoti shares the same vision, and hopefully, God willing, within a reasonable time, we should see some good beginnings made between India, SAU and Maldives in the coming time. We have discussed about some areas of common interest. He has also had a meeting with some of the senior persons here and tried to zero in on some areas where we can work together. And as always, I have told SAU will be open to all models, whether it's 2+2, 3+1, whatever, UG plus PG, whatever, and also to explore new areas where we can gather expertise from India and have a course in Maldives, which is in their interest. Fortunately, we are located in Delhi, and all the universities in Delhi are ready to supplement our resources in that. For example, if you wish to do something on tourism or hospitality or in such areas in Maldives, not only SAU STEM, but strengths of other universities in Delhi will also be available to us to ensure that we deliver in Maldives what is intended best for them. See, the things only happen when you have that focus in mind, and I'm sure we'll have that focus in mind. I'm so happy that he has made it, and he has made it with full heart and conviction, and that will help the two countries as we go along. We hear him, and if you have any queries or questions or whatever, because we have to make it happen. So let's try to understand it. Thank you, Mr. Jogi, once again, and welcome to the beautiful campus. I don't think you came to this campus anytime. You have come to India many times, but this campus, I'm almost sure this is probably the most beautiful university campus in India. Maybe in Maldives we can make a still more beautiful campus. That's even better. This is very beautiful campus, and the government of India is very liberal in extending all facilities, financial or otherwise, to do that. With these words, thank you, Mr. Jogi, once again to this university, and welcome you all to hear.
Thank you, Honorable President. Can I request the IT to please switch on the presentation? I now invite the Honorable Chancellor, Dr. Mahmood Shawki, for his distinguished lecture. Dr. Shawki, please.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I've been really honored when I visited this university this morning. The hospitality and the welcome that I received was really warm. Thank you. And I can tell that came from the heart. I had a brief discussion. I wouldn't say brief, actually, because the reason why you have to stay a little bit longer, I apologize for that, it's because of me, because our discussion got a bit carried away. Because we have so much to discuss of mutual interest. For me, SAU is very important for many reasons. As the Professor just mentioned, the President mentioned, I was for the introduction, I was the Minister of Education in Maldives. Sometime back, before SAU was created. So I had the opportunity to participate as the then Minister from Maldives in the discussions of creating a university that belonged to the SAU region. So as part of that vision. And then recently in Bhutan, I attended your SAU's Governing Council or Governing Board, and I realized that I appreciated the amount of investment and the commitment that the Indian government had put into this project. And I must thank the Indian government for the tremendous amount of investment and support for the South Asian University. And I was told that SAU was going to be moving to this new, beautiful campus. I was very keen to visit this campus, and when the High Commissioner, Indian High Commissioner in Maldives, suggested that I visit on an academic visitor program, and he said, give me names of universities and cities that you would like to visit. And immediately at the meeting I said, I have one university that I want to visit, and that's SAU. I had no idea. I'll check, I'll go on Google, do some search, and I'll let you know what I'm interested in. So that brings me, that's how I'm here this morning. And we had a wonderful, very productive discussion. We already have explored possibilities of how we can, areas that we can collaborate. When I met the High Commissioner that day, just to discuss this visit, he said to me, "You should give a lecture on a topic." And I just thought, right there and then, the easiest topic that came to my mind was that there has to be some educational partnership between two countries, and that's because I'm in charge of the university, and that's my field. And naturally, this topic came. I didn't think too much about the topic at the time. It's only after that I started reading a little bit and started thinking about the partnership between Maldives and India in the area of education. So that brings me to the topic. So I'll try to be brief, so that you will have more time for questions and answers. Now, Maldives, you all know where Maldives is located. But why is it important in the Indian Ocean region? We are very small. Given the size of other small countries, Maldives is obviously the smallest. But we're not really small in terms of the area. There's like 900 kilometers long. We have land area that's just 300 square kilometers. But if you take the entire Maldives, when we Maldivians think of Maldives, we don't always think about the land. We think of the sea. It's 99% Maldives is sea. So if you take the ocean of the Maldives is, actually it's larger than Sri Lanka, because it's almost 90,000 square kilometers. Sri Lanka has, I think, 65,000. So Maldives is its strategic location in the Indian Ocean. It's important for India and for Maldives and India to work together. And that's the historic relationship. There is a historic, cultural, deep-rooted relationship between India and Maldives. We have over 1,192 islands, I think, all these details. But I just wanted to say that we have 20 atolls that are naturally formed, some administratively divided into atolls. Only inhabited islands. When we say inhabited islands, these are islands where local people live. That's just 187 now. It used to be 200 something. Now it's 187 because after tsunami we had to move some islands to another island. So we have 180 tourist resorts. Maldives tourism is originally built on this concept of one island, one resort. So a single island becomes the resort. It's almost a small village by itself where diesel generator is on that island. Water, desalination water is produced on that island. So on that island. So it is a resort by itself. 24 hours people live just like in the community. We have 180 of those resorts. More recently, we have also started what we call guest houses or small hotels. Now you get many of them in inhabited islands. You can't actually see the screen from here. The population of Maldives is relatively small. Probably smaller than most of your towns and small cities. Although we have about 500,000 people, the local population is 382,000. The rest are expatriates working in the Maldives. We have 25,000 Indian citizens working in the Maldives. And when it comes to the education sector, about 1,500 of them are teachers. So there's a huge contribution from the Indian community from India in terms of education, serving the schools in the Maldives. This is what I mean, secondary to public schools. Economic indicators to have, I just wanted to give you a brief of what Maldives is. Our GDP, in terms of per capita GDP, we do very well in South Asia. We're one of the highest per capita GDP. But our economy is unfortunately specialized, very narrowly focused on just tourism and some fisheries. We do have a significant debt. Going to the crisis situation where it exceeds 10% of GDP of national debt. Second of it is external debt, and really to institutions, mixing banks, Mexico development banks in China and India. This graph I wanted to bring to your attention because after COVID, and even before COVID, tourists from India to Maldives was number one, as a source market. The country that produced most tourists in Maldives, one of the single countries in India. And I knew this will be there. In the room, some of you will be thinking about it. There was a little bit of a hiccup in our relationship in 2024, and the numbers had come down. And in 2024, India was in the sixth rank, first or sixth. But I must say, it's normalizing. More Indian tourists are now visiting Maldives, increasing numbers, and I'm certain that India will come up again in the ranks of countries that send tourists to Maldives. And that's something that we really value and appreciate. The education system in Maldives, you can see that we're slightly different. We have a system where primary education is based on a curriculum developed locally up to, let's say, grade 7. And then our students will follow the GCE British orders. So that's the British examination. And this is the national curriculum for secondary in Maldives. And the students will stay for GCE O level. And then for higher education, the higher secondary, it is GCE A level. So that's the curricular structure in the Maldives. Teachers are covered. And the government expenditure, government is very keen on education, so we spend a fairly high percentage of our GDP on our education. I think it's the same for India as well. The higher education, we have several private colleges. I think there are over 14 colleges now, and then 2 universities. Our university, the university that I represent, Maldives National University, is the largest. We have largely, it's only about 7,000 students. We have another university, it's not university, 3,000 students. And then, as I said, there are several private colleges. The college is the largest of the private colleges. We have a full set of faculty. We do have a School of Medicine, a School of Nursing, Health Sciences, the Engineering Science and Technology, law faculty, and faculty of education. So most universities still have a fairly comprehensive university, although the numbers are small, because it is a national university. It is 80% funded by the government, 20% of government fees and other rental fees and so on. The percentage of our undergraduate students are about 40%, but we have very few PhD programs at our university, and this is one area where SAU and the Maldives National University can cooperate and participate in developing joint PhD programs, supporting us in developing PhD programs. Maldives-India relationship, the education partnership between India and Maldives is really the context of it comes from the international relations. It's imported from India, and as I said, about 25,000 Indian nationals work in Maldives. And even in terms of the education sector, beyond the formal government-to-government support, that's the relationship. There's also people-to-people relationship. There's a lot of Maldivian students who study in colleges and universities in India. And Maldivians visit India for medical treatment as well. So these are two countries that are connected, not just politically, but people-to-people connection as well. The education partnership, we have had a long-standing education partnership with India. The ICCR scholarships, it's about 30 scholarships a year that students will come, and there's fully funded scholarships. And that's been going on from 1970s. And this is the reason why that if you take the health sector, for example, some of the best doctors and the most well-known experienced doctors are trained in India. In the education sector, earlier days when we were trying to universalize education, ensuring that all our students have access to secondary education, primary and secondary education, a lot of our teachers and school administrators were actually trained in India, particularly at the National Institute of Education in India. During my time as the Minister of Education, we had a very productive relationship with the University of Mysore, where we sent several secondary teachers and school administrators for training. So, very important, supportive relationships that we have had in the education sector in India. There's also a vibrant under ITEC. There's a short-term training. The Maldivian media, the civil servants come to India for training. Another area of partnership, because I can't really see the text, so I'm just not necessarily maybe following this. Another area of partnership is, as I said, is in security. The military personnel training, probably the single country that takes in most military personnel from Maldives for training will be India. Many of your military academies, the Maldives National Defense Force personnel have been trained, many officers, senior officers in the Maldives military actually trained in Indian defense academies. The institutional linkages, there are so many now. Judiciary, it's got an institutional linkage with your counterpart. Civil service is an institutional linkage with your counterpart. The education sector, we have several linkages. So, in the public service sphere, even semi-independent institutions in Maldives, including, for example, the accounting and finance areas with Europe. So there's a lot of partnerships that have developed in education in the two countries. So I've listed several of these institutional partnerships, and we can just go through them all. They really cover a comprehensive area of partnerships. Some of the key projects I will continue. One is the Indira Gandhi Memorial Hospital. I listed them as part of the educational partnership, although it is the central hospital in Maldives. It's built by in 1995. Again, this renovation started in 2017. Our university's medical faculty uses this hospital as our teaching hospital. In fact, our School of Medicine is basically located in that hospital. So there is an education component, certainly, there to that particular project. The National College of Training Police, that is in South India, recently built again with the Indian assistance, and there is a police training partnership with one of the universities and the Maldives Police Services as well. And then, of course, that brings to this project, the South Asia University. This is a special institution because the vision of South Asia University obviously is to bring all South Asian countries together, and in the belief that South Asian University can serve the entire region and the world, and known as the global university of excellence. I know that that is the direction that we're taking now. I can feel the strong leadership that Professor Agarwal brought in, and the enthusiasm of the faculty of the university, and the growth of the university in the last year with these new campus. And I like the approach that you just mentioned, that not all can be done collectively, because we are unique. Maldives is certainly unique. And so, south of Maldives, south of Sri Lanka, south of Pakistan, south of Bhutan, that kind of exploring of relationships, I think, is the way to go forward. And today, I think, marks hopefully the beginning of a new chapter of the relationship between Maldives and SAU. I listed in my thought, these are just thoughts I had, and I'm throwing them in here just for you to think about. And I'm hoping that after this, we can have a really open discussion or dialogue with you on how to move forward. So some of the things that I've listed is that we should really have a focused conference or dialogue on how Maldives and India can form partnerships. Because there's no point trying to do everything. There are specific areas that for research or even setting up, for example, a SAU extension perhaps in Maldives, something, things like this that may not be large in numbers, but small, but effective and productive, that will have the potential to grow. So we can sit down and explore and talk first to identify what those will be. So that's why I listed it as a national conference. It could be held here, it could be held in Maldives as well. The institutional partnerships, again, we have several MOUs, hundreds in fact. Many of you in your university will have, with other universities around the world. But how many of these MOUs really become effective? Not many. Our university at the moment, we have 3 MOUs with 3 universities in India. But I think we need to find real areas where we can generate productivity and results. And that's the same line of thinking that Professor Agarwal taught in this matter. So we need to explore those and form institutional partnerships between countries. So that's the conference idea that I mentioned. The branch campus. Around the world, there's I think, over 280 branch campuses, mostly of US, Australia, British, French universities. And over 75 countries have these branch campuses. You see them in Japan, Qatar, China, Malaysia. These are foreign universities setting up branch campuses in the country. I was thinking, in Maldives, our regulations right now will allow foreign university to come and set a branch campus. We welcome that. It's there. Because we discussed the size of Maldives, right? really there is nothing else to do to develop the fully functioning higher education system. So what's the future for us? The future would be to create Maldives as a study abroad international higher education destination. We're lucky in that sense. We have beautiful islands for that. Still many untouched. We have a global reputation as a superb tourism destination. People from all over the world are interested in visiting Maldives. So if you can really create that vision of the Maldives as a higher education destination, what country will be closest to us to take lead in that? Your education system is vibrant, diverse. You have so many, India has so many great universities, and you have those institutions of national importance that are global understanding. So I think setting up that kind of a branch campus in Maldives, and your private sector institutions, universities are also growing. I think it's just these ideas need to be planted, and some kind of exposure into Maldives for institutions need to happen, and that can be led either through diplomatic as the facilitator, opening up relationship between education partnership between Maldives and India. The another area that Professor Agarwal and I would be very familiar with is that the ease of credit transfer and mutual recognition of academic credentials. At the moment, it's not very easy. It's not straightforward. We were just talking about the fact that we will always be part of SAU, but we have only had, I think, about 4 students who graduated from SAU. We don't have many students from SAU from all these years, and that shouldn't be the case. Yes, first of all, we have thousands of Indian students studying abroad. I know even under the laws, there's about 900 students studying in Malaysia. So there should be more that we can bring. And I think the reason is that we have not sufficiently made SAU aware of SAU among the multiple students. And the other difficulty may be entrance exam and the differences in the system. And Professor Agarwal and I talked about today how we can allow the door slightly more open, make it easier to facilitate students to come in to your university. And perhaps we could also explore joint programs with SAU and university. And that will facilitate student mobility and faculty mobility. I skipped purposely one point that I discussed in here, which is like the Indian Ocean virtual university. I skipped that, although it's on the slide, because I know you have a very strong virtual program as well. And there is thought that SAU may be interested in an extension branch in Maldives or other part of South Asia. The thought I had there was that it was before I met Dr. Agarwal. I also thought that trying to do something completely inclusive of all sometimes takes a lot of effort and a long time. And so even bringing although not part of South Asia, but this is about India and Maldives relationship. Indian Ocean, Seychelles, Mauritius, Maldives, Sri Lanka, some similarities in the Indian Ocean region, island nations such as Seychelles. Some virtual university, that's the idea. But I think now look at the direction that Professor has alluded to in his speech. So that's in a nutshell what is the background to the education relationship. It is strong, it is vibrant, but it's a lot we get from India, I suppose. I don't know if we're giving enough back to make that relationship mutual. And I think the next stage of the relationship should really be on what we can do that is of mutual benefit, real partnership between both countries, so that we are equally contributing proportionately to our size to whatever that initiative is. So I hope that's probably not a lot of new information to you, but I think enough to generate our thinking on this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chancellor, for walking us through the possibilities and I would say the 3 C's that you laid for us. We started on the note of confluence, but you added convergence and connectivity. Looking at the program schedule, if you could open up the House with your permission, sir, for a few questions.
You visited Maldives at least 4 to 5 times. So thank you for visiting South Asian University. I always used to say this in my lecture that this is the university we should be focused in India Maldives relations, and I hope that with this kind of a meeting that we have today, we will focus more.
With your sir, with your permission, will we take a few questions together? Naman?
Hello sir, welcome to some very insightful and optimistic lecture indeed. Sir, I am Naman Gupta from Department of International Relations, and my question to you is, sir, is from very personal experience that we all learn from our distinguished faculties that climate change is real, and it seems more real in the geography like Maldives. So my question to you is, what is being done by the Maldivian education system in order to create that climate awareness, and what can be done in collaboration with institutions like South Asian University to push that further in SAR region and also for the world? Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Nabarun Roy?
You're the path forward for us. My name is Nabarun Roy. I teach at the International Relations Department. And incidentally, you had mentioned Villa College, and I was also associated in terms of curriculum development for the International Relations program at the bachelor's level that they're actually introducing. And one of the, again, not such a question, but more probably a hope, is that just the salience of maritime issues and how prominent they're becoming in terms of the political order. And you talked about also the fact that a true genuine partnership between the two countries, or at least at the level of the two institutions for the time being. I think there's a lot that we could think about in terms of maritime issues, mutual learning, given how well Maldives has actually been able to orient itself towards maritime issues. And going forward, I think that would be something that probably we would all focus on and also learn from the Maldives and develop in both the institutions and countries in terms of curriculum and insights that we have.
You were just referring to the school system. Again, awareness about environment is part of the curriculum, national curriculum, for primary and also secondary. What can we do more? You're right, Maldives, given the fact that we're 99% sea level rise is also a concern. There are other issues related to sea level rise and there's a lot that I think we can partner, work together. You have under Professor Abu's leadership set up this is a green climate change, green transition, and sustainability initiative center. And that's the one that we can work. So I think that we were discussing this morning, areas where South Maldives or university or even the private sector institutions involved. So I'm not limiting my discussion only to our university because they are not there. That's a specific area that we can focus Similarly, maritime studies is another area that we could work together. Our university may have a maritime studies center, but then it is not really maritime studies in a broader scope. At the moment, the focus is very much on navigation, training of boat captains, engineers, so it more very basically on sea-based, ocean-based transportation. That's the focus of that program. I think what you're referring to is much more, which is maritime security. We have just created a new faculty of fisheries. Although with the National University, we have not had a faculty of fisheries and ocean sciences. So they call it a College of Fisheries and Ocean Sciences. It's just been created last year. And we want to look at not just from a maritime studies angle, but also ocean sciences. Because I think related to climate change and ecology, Maldives environment. If you visit the rivers, unique in the world, the coral reefs and the tropical condition and the vast ocean that we have in the ocean. So I think that's another area we can collaborate. Maldives selects a sufficient number of researchers and academics in science, technology, which big metals and so it's just trying to look at those initiatives that we can work together, picking it and planning it well. I think that's what we'll be. Thank you.
You'll all agree with me that we've had a very, very productive discussion, and thank you, Honorable Chancellor, for walking us through. And on behalf of the South Asian University community, we extend a big thank you to you, sir, for taking out the time and visiting us at the South Asian